with another feature in our Sounds of the Summer series where we spotlight local musicians from right here in Whatcom County. And today I'm joined by local band here, Halcyon, at the Bellingham Bells game where they're about to perform. Guys, thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having us.
So let's start by kind of going down the line, introducing everybody who is who and what do you do in the band.
My name is Sam Christopherson. I'm from Oxnard, California, and I play rhythm guitar in Pure Halcyon.
My name is Kyler Gruner. I'm relatively new to the band, and I play lead guitar in Pure Halcyon.
My name is Robbie St, and I play the electric triangle, and I'm really good at it. I'm kidding. I'm the singer of Pure Halcyon.
I'm Keegan Cass. I play drums, and I set up the sound system for today.
You did awesome.
My name's Callan. I play the bass.
So for those that might be unfamiliar with your music or haven't been introduced to you yet, what would you say is kind of your broad genre or the type of music that you play?
Probably alt rock.
Yeah. Is it even alt?
I don't know.
I feel like we just cover so many genres. Yeah. Umbrella term, probably alt rock. That's simple. But we have
Pop rock.
Let me take this.
We have a lot of different influences because we all come from different musical backgrounds, which is really fun. We have like punk influences, jazz, blues. Paramore is kind of a style that we relate to. What other bands? Larkin Poe, stuff like that. Willow. I love Willow. I brought her into the band. But yeah, pretty much alt rock, like Callan said.
And what do you say, other than maybe musical artists, like what kind of inspires your guys' music? Is it family? Is it relationships? Is it just life? Like what helps you bring that music to real life?
Personally, it's something that I have to do, or else I feel like I'm just creatively stuck, if that makes sense. So it's the way that I express what I'm feeling that day. If I go through a situation, I can put it on paper into a song, and it helps me go through what I need to go through, if that makes sense. Cope healthily, or just express a happy feeling. So it's really fun.
Can I say something on that?
Yeah.
So when we were writing our most recent project, and especially when we're working on one of our newer songs currently, personally, I was looking at it from, because we're very much a live show driven band, I was looking at things from a lens of how is this going to sound live. Obviously you're going to do things in like a recording studio or in a writing session that won't translate live all the time. You can look at any band ever, and unless they're playing to tracks, it's not going to sound like the studio. And so when personally I'm writing my own parts or trying to make it my own, if it's a part that someone else has written, I'm immediately looking at, okay, if we're going to be playing at the Bells tonight, how am I going to be able to play this song if it's Lie to Me or Color of Rain or Don't You Dare or whatever it is, and how is that going to translate to the live stage? And so how can I make that part as translucent from or transparent from the studio to live as well?
Yeah, that makes total sense. So kind of talking about like the creation of music, we got to start kind of at the beginning. How did you all meet? Was it you know each other since kids? Was it school? Was it like, I mean, I know Checker Bloom, they all met via Craigslist. Like how did you guys all kind of come together?
You want to do it?
Yeah. So Robbie, Callan, and I went to community college together down in Shoreline, and basically when COVID hit, I got a message from this guy asking if I wanted to write a song with him because he had written a bass line and I guess had invited Robbie to songwrite as well, and then...
Let me tell the real story. It's kind of embarrassing. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I had randomly asked Callan in class one day, like, yo, let's write a song. And he's like, okay. And then I got his number or a Snapchat or something, and I messaged him, and I was like, hey, let's write a song. Like, here's a demo. And you told me, like, years later, you looked at this, like, why is she messaging me?
I didn't really know you.
Yeah, it was random. I'll give you that. that is a core memory in my frontal lobe. I will admit that is burned into my psyche. That's very embarrassing, but it worked out.
So that's how the three of you kind of met. So then how did they connect with you guys?
I'll take it from here. So like I said, I'm from Oxnard, and so when I moved up here to Bellingham in 2021 in the fall, I moved up here, I didn't know anybody. And so I was playing water polo at Western. Yes, there's a water polo club at Western Washington University. And Keegan was playing on the team, and I just, on a whim, asked some of the team leaders if I could join them on a tournament. I ended up really kind of getting along with Keegan really well while we were on a bed together in Ellensburg in the O'Connell Lodge. We talked about music. We ended up going for a drive that night with a couple other guys and really just kind of bonded over having the same music taste. You know, a lot of 90s rock and grunge and kind of Seattle rock roots. So then fast forward towards the end of that night, he just kind of side question was like, hey, like if you want to jam with us, like we're looking for a new guitarist, like if you want to jam. And at the time it was just the three of them, and so I sat in with them, and and then slowly just kind of evolved from there. And so I think my first practice was that first weekend of December in 2021. And then since then I've been with the band. And then Kyler's got a pretty unique story as well. We were searching for somebody again to kind of fill in for a guitar spot, and Kyler came up in mind. And kind of talk about your kind of experience in Bellingham with music.
I was in a band called Porky and the Menace, and we played a couple house shows with Pure Halcyon, and kind of got to know Sam better. And Sam came out, I'm on the water ski team, came out to the lake place and did some journalism stuff out there.
Which is really just getting free skiing time in on the lake, and it was pretty nice.
Basically. Yeah, so then fast forward to about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, they had their last lead guitar player was leaving, and Sam hit me up and he was like, hey, do you want to jam with Pure Halcyon? And I remember looking at that message and I was like, is this like an invite to like play with those guys, or is he just wanting to jam? Like, I don't really know. And so I was just like, I'm just gonna jam and see where it goes. And then eventually I got offered to be in the band, and now I think this is my 4th show with Pure Halcyon.
So now kind of all coming together, how do you guys find your sound collectively as a group of 5? Like, what is that like? What is that experience like creating the music together?
Probably like 7 times out of 10, the way it goes is I bring a chunk of lyrics or melody to the guys, and then they add their own influences, add the chords underneath, stuff like that. There were like maybe 1 or 2 songs that I came with fully written. Other ones came from a riff from Callan, or you helped me with Give Me Forever a lot. That was a lot of us too. So it kind of, whoever has inspiration, they bring it to the band, and then we work from there.
And so now you've all come together and you've created this band name. Where does the band name come from? What does it represent? Like, is it like just kind of like, you know what, this is just the vibe, or is it, you know,
The beautiful answer is that Halcyon is a bird, so it's the bird that you see on the cover of all of our music. It's also a feeling of nostalgia for better times. So we thought that was really beautiful. But the actual backstory is that I went on a band name generator website and typed in a bunch of pretty words. It came out as Pure Lee Halcyon. And I was like, I don't like the Lee. It was just us 3, I think, at the time. And I was like, guys, you want to drop the Lee? Sorry to anybody named Lee, that's not what I mean. But do you guys want to be Pure Halcyon? And they were like, yeah, sure, why not? So that's how it happened.
Okay, we're gonna shift gears a little bit. Let's talk Bellingham. So obviously some of you are transplants, or maybe is everybody kind of a transplant to Bellingham, sort of?
I grew up in Bellingham until I was 7 and then moved to Edison, actually. So I guess I've been the closest.
And then now having been here obviously for a few years, what are some of the local businesses in town that you feel are your favorites, or maybe are a hidden gem that you want more people to know about?
Cafe Roomba.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not really a hidden gem. Everybody loves Cafe Roomba, but I would kill a man for their sandwiches. The Budafara Royale is legendary, and I suggest everybody go and have that now.
So Cafe Roomba.
AB Crepes and McKay's are both fantastic.
Oh, McKay's, definitely. Black Cat, I don't know if that's like super underground or whatever, but it's my favorite place. You'll probably catch me there if you ever go there. Black Cat for me.
I know it's already been said, McKay's, but after the show tonight, I'll go to McKay's, grab a slice of pizza or 2 with some friends, and call it a good night.
I mean, for me, I come from a small business background. I worked in small business for 5.5 years in California, and the Bellingham business community is quite interesting. And so during the day when I'm not in the band, I work up at the Cascade Radio Group. And so we have a lot of clients, and there are businesses that are all over Whatcom County. So I interface with them on a daily basis. But a few that have really been a standout business to me, especially as a new person in Bellingham, that takes the cake, is Make Worth Coffee in downtown. Tim Shankin, who's their head roaster there, is always taking care of me, and I really am a big coffee guy. I love artisan coffee. And then if I'm gonna go out to eat, I'm going to Storia Cucina. The service there is the best. Chef Helen knows exactly what she's doing. And obviously, John or Jonathan, I forget if it is.
Yeah, Jonathan Chicotti.
He knows what he's doing out there. And again, I feel like I'm the ultimate consumer, and you're looking at a bunch of consumers. The Bellingham business community as a whole is so interconnected with Guy at the Chamber, the Whatcom Business Alliance. There's so many resources that people can go to. I understand that's probably not a band answer, but it's more of like I'm a business guy answer.
I have an honorary mention.
Oh, honorary mention?
Honorary mention, where we've been plenty of times after shows, Pelmeni's. Yeah.
I was just there the other week.
So good. Oh my God. Oh my.
It's not a Bellingham experience until you've had Pelmeni's at least once.
Buffalo Exchange right next to it. I get all my earrings there. Not these ones though, but all the rest of them.
Shrine House is always great.
Ooh, Shrine, baby.
Also, 20th Century Bowling is fun.
I have long nails, I can't bowl.
Tell me about tonight's show. Like, how does one get to play at the Bellingham Bells game?
So during the day, I work at the Cascade Radio Group with my BellinghamNow.com, but at night, I work alongside with Craig Jewell and some of the guys there on their street team and helping them out with production stuff. And so Craig Jewell and I have really fostered a really interesting relationship where he's been a phenomenal mentor of mine over the last year and a half. And so during that time, I've been able to get us in at the Wild Buffalo to play a couple shows there. And what ended up happening was probably about 2 months ago, I got a text from Craig like, hey, I put your name into Stephanie Morel, who's the general manager here at the Bells, which, talk about like a woman in leadership in sports. She's absolutely killing it and she knows exactly what she's doing. So anyways, we were talking about it and I was like, yeah, like that's super cool, like excited to hear from them. We ended up getting an email from both Kelsey and Stephanie asking, hey, like we want to offer you guys a gig here during the All-Star Week. Now again, at the publication, we had been ranting and raving over this because if you want to talk about a mix of local business, tourism, this is a huge spectacle here in Bellingham. And so the fact that my artistic creative outlet with these phenomenal 4 other musicians is able to be a part of this West Coast League All-Star Game experience. And on top of that, be able to help raise money for the Max Sigbey Center, which is a fantastic nonprofit here in Bellingham. We love April Brews Day. We love all the events that they throw. And being adjacent friends with Austin Shenton, whose brother is a part of the Max Sigbey Center and is a big supporter of the Max Sigbey Center, it's been fantastic to just be a part of this process today. And so honestly, it's just about knowing Craig a little bit, and he's seen our music and he's got enough faith in us that we're gonna be able to pull something off tonight. So it really means a lot for someone who owns such a great venue to vouch for us in that way, and for Stephanie and Kelsey to be so kind to lend us their deck for the night and supply us the place to be able to do our thing.
Kind of on the topic of community, I came up with this question when I was interviewing Checker Bloom last weekend. Like, Bellingham has such a rich, vibrant live music scene. And Bellingham's produced acts as huge as Death Cab for Cutie and Odessa to local artists like you guys, Checker Bloom and Veronica North. Like, what is that like to be part of the fabric of Bellingham's live music scene?
Bellingham music scene is different and more special than I would say a lot of the, other music scenes. Just because everybody is so welcoming, and bands can be friends and are friends with other bands, then everybody's just kind of lifting each other up. Something that's been encroaching and coming up is a lot of bands are putting on events rather than just shows. We've done that a couple of times where we try and make our shows events, a little bit more themed, a little bit more special. And I know like Red Roulette, they just did a birthday show for Jess and stuff like that. And I just think that theatrics of it all is actually really cool.
So the Bellingham music scene, there really aren't that many venues in town compared to someplace like Seattle where there's like one on every corner for miles and miles and miles. And so it's really nice just to be able to get to know the venues and get to know the other bands who are going to be able to put on a show together. And so that's all really nice. The events are all really cool, and it's just nice to, kind of know everybody around.
The fact that you said like we're a part of the fabric of the music scene, like that is so weird. Like I never really think of like, yeah, we're in the music. Like it's something that we do and something that we love to do. So to hear someone say like you're part of this, like you're part of the making of this is really special and really cool. So it's just it's nice to know that we made some sort of imprint, and hopefully people like coming to our shows and they keep coming. And every band that we played with is phenomenal. Everybody's so nice and welcoming. Every venue that we played at, 10 out of 10. I don't think there's anything quite like the Bellingham music scene. And I am personally, and I'm sure we all are, honored to be a part of it.
I personally feel that the Bellingham music scene is just a real special place in my heart, and I know everybody else at this table, their hearts as well. Personally, it really allowed me to foster and grow as a musician, because you could be like my first band. I started playing shows in the backyard of our bass player's girlfriend's house in February. It was muddy, it was cold, we knew like 2 songs and then the rest we just improvised, to now being able to play at a Bells game for, who knows, 500 plus people today, and I'm very lucky to be part of it.
Yeah, we've been lucky enough to be able to play shows in Seattle and kind of go south a little bit, and nothing compares to Bellingham. I think what it comes down to is the owners. I work closely with Craig Jewell with Wild Buffalo. We've worked closely as a group with Martine Wall at the Blue Room, which, if you want to talk about a place that is quite literally like Bellingham ran, from that super grassroots. You look at any bands, my influences are Dave Matthews and Fish, and all of those are grassroots. The Blue Room's no different, and it's a place that's all ages, it caters to everybody. It's places like that that's keeping the younger live music scene, that next generation of under 21 musicians alive. it's that mix with obviously the creativity that comes from all of the fantastic students at Western, which a few of us, were, and one of them still is. It's a very unique place that's also just oddly accepting. The City of Subdued Excitement doesn't really work with the music community. It's like our own little town that we've built, but thanks to fantastic venue owners and staff at venues, if it's the Shakedown or if it's makeshift art space, providing a space for bands that have never played before to play their first show. And you hit it right. You're dealing with a place that has fostered the musical acts like Odessa and Death Cab, but so many other musicians have passed through here. And looking at the music history of Bellingham, the Mount Baker Theater, the bands that have passed through there, because we're perfectly right in the middle of Seattle and Vancouver, has been able to kind of create this like underground knowledge of, oh, Nirvana played at Western in the 90s and you want to be like them. And so there's places, even like the Bells, that are allowing bands like us, and honestly, we have no idea what we're doing. Like, we're here tonight, I've forgotten my own name, and they're allowing us to play here tonight. and so it's because of that kind of graciousness that's in the, not just Bellingham music, but the venues and the businesses that are behind all of us. Yeah.
Well, to kind of wrap it all up and tie it together, let's talk about, anything that you guys are looking forward to, or, oh, she's like, I'm ready.
Ready. I want to give a shout out to Blade for helping us run sound tonight. Do you want to come say hi, or do you want to be in the shadows? Yeah, merch plug. Blade's wearing our shirt. You can't see it, but Blade is also awesome and helping push some faders tonight. So excited to have you having our back with the sound. I'm excited to just be playing in the sun outside. Maybe actually not in the sun. That's a lie. I'm gonna shade.
You did say you're not a fan of anything above 70 degrees.
Right. 75. Excuse me. I feel like I didn't even let you finish your question, but I'm just excited to be playing music. I'm excited to be here. Is that cheesy? I don't know. I'm just excited. We have so many great opportunities, sometimes just thrown on our laps, and we're so lucky to be able to take advantage of that. So it's really cool to just be a part of everything.
Yeah, so we're currently working on a new song. We're in a cool studio called The Coop. It's up in North Bellingham. And so we're working on that currently right now, and so maybe by the time this video is out, or maybe just after this video is out, that song will be out on our Spotify and Apple Music and anywhere you stream music. And then honestly, like, the best way to stay updated with all of us is just through Instagram. The age of, this 21st century. At one point, if we were to go to maybe high school or college in the 2000s, we'd be on MySpace, and now we're on Instagram and Facebook, and so that's the best way to stay connected with all of us. But yeah, I really think that like the future of this group is pretty strong and fruitful, and it's really unique to see that, and to see a Bellingham band that started at kind of such a young age and be able to still play music is pretty impressive. A lot of bands don't last more than 6 or 8 months, and that's kind of the sad part, is the turnover rate in Bellingham. But the cool part is you've got bands like Checker Bloom. And you mentioned Veronica North, correct? Veronica North is another powerhouse that can, pack the Wild Buffalo, and she comes from northern Whatcom County, and she's able to use resources like Cafe 104.1 and like other great media outlets to be able to do her own music thing and figure it out and travel to LA and record. She's an inspiration for me, and I mean, just looking at that, we're in the same music scene. And so the fact that we can able to be a part of that is huge, and all be interconnected on social media is really neat.
Very cool. Well, thank you guys so much for sitting down with me today. This was awesome, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys perform in the future.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.